Hello, happy Monday, everybody. My name is Edwin Edebiri, and I am the Chief Happiness Officer with the I Am Happy Project and also the Happy Neighborhood Project. Yes, I am happy. Folks, I do this call to help people get the week started. I came across a study that shows how people just struggle with Mondays. And so, folks, if you know anybody out there that struggle with Mondays and they don't want to go back to work or they're getting sick before they have to go to work, and even people who have also retired for some time, they still have the same feeling about Monday morning, even though they don't have to go to work anymore because it's been ingrained in their subconsciousness. So encourage them to join us every Monday, folks. It's only about 10, 15 minutes, but it could change the whole of their week and maybe even change the whole of their life. That's what Happy Monday is all about. So please help us to get the word out. Share the numbers, to anybody you come across, and they can call in. And if they cannot call in, they can join us on YouTube and just go to youtube.com/AskTheCHO. That is ASKTHECHO. And they should be able to get, subscription and be able to follow up. Folks, that's what this is all about. It's our way of spreading happiness just a little bit. You could change somebody's life by getting them hooked up to this every Monday so they get excited about the week. So, folks, today I am going to be talking about compliments. Yes, compliment and happiness. Now, I know everybody understands this. You have got some very genuine compliment at some point in your life. How does it make you feel? It could be something as simple as, oh, wow, you look good today, or you smell good, or, man, you always come early, and you always stay last. Little things like that. Or it could be your boss just overlooking you and saying, wow, that is awesome job you are doing right there. Whatever the compliment it is, folks, understand it does wonders. And most of you already know I do research before I do any of my call. And so once an idea comes to my mind that I feel has some impact, whether it's me receiving compliment or me giving compliment to people, and I watch them and I see what it does to their demeanor, I do research. Because sometimes I don't want to just be talking out and say, yes, because of the power vested in me as a Chief Happiness Officer, that I can just say things like that. But I also want to see if what that I am saying is backed with research. And yes, guess what? It is. There is a recent study, folks, that shows that when you give compliment when you receive compliment, that it has the same positive effect as receiving cash. Think about this, folks. Think about how powerful this is. I know some of you are thinking already in your mind, say, yeah, give me a break, Compliment may not pay, will not pay my rent, or compliment is not going to put food on my table. But guess what? It has the same effect as receiving cash. That's what the study did. I will encourage you, look into this study. All you got to do is type Google, compliment and happiness and just Google it. And you can see what I'm saying. Before I even come across this study, I already know that. Because guess what, folks? When you are at work, sometimes getting you more pay doesn't give you that much incentive as getting that compliment. You want people to know that you have put in that effort. Now, whether it's ladies, whether it's gentlemen, if you take the time to really get yourself ready before you leave home for an event, it is nice for someone to acknowledge it. That's what compliment is about. He said it's a polite expression of praise or admiration. It could be a tribute if you go even more details. It could be accolade. I just mentioned, just this weekend, Helen and I was honored as a change maker. Folks, how do you think that make us feel? Now, everybody knows that's not why we do what we do, but for people to acknowledge that what you're doing is making a change. Folks, that is totally awesome. So my focus this morning, folks, is not going to be so much, you receiving compliments. But I wanted to start there because if you can tell how well and how wonderful it does to you, guess what it does to others? So I want you to take some time and compliment people. And here is what I have learned about compliment. It encourages you to focus on what's good in people. It's so easy to pick out all the things that's not working and things that's not good and what people did wrong and what they did not do and all of those kind of stuff. But when you start to commit to complimenting people, guess what? You start to focus on the things that's good in them. And here is another thing that I find out. That's a reflection of you. So when you find yourself picking the wrong thing in people, there's something not quite going with you. When you start to focus on what's good on others, guess what? It starts to bring back those same things to you. So I want to encourage you. If you're already giving compliments, awesome job to you. Compliments to you, okay? But if you are not, make it part of your habit. Maybe start it once a week. If you have not used to doing it, do once a week. Find somebody that did something and compliment them. Do at least once a week. And then when you become really good at it, find somebody once a day. Now, here is something that I also know. And most of you already probably know this too. I think it's Thomas Edison that said it. He said, happiness is like a perfume. You don't spray it on other people without a few drops coming back on you. You don't give compliment to people all day long without a few coming back to you. And we already know a sincere compliment boosts one's morale. It does. So think about it. When you make a commitment to giving compliments and you start focusing on what's good in other people, guess how you make them feel? And you guys have already heard me say this so many times. And this is a study that was done by Harvard Medical School and the University of California in San Diego, that when an individual becomes happy, what happens? They trigger a chain reaction. So what if you start committing to complimenting folks in your office on the good things they do? Now, make sure it's sincere compliment. Don't give those flattering compliments. People will know that. They can detect it, and it have the reverse effect. Make it sincere. That means you have to do a little bit more work in identifying and paying a little bit more attention in the environment around you. Guess what? When you start to help people get happier, what's going to happen? That's going to create a chain reaction. Your environment is going to get happier. Now, guess who's going to be the benefactor of that? You too. It's kind of like the law of sowing and reaping. If you sow compliments, guess what's going to happen? You're going to reap compliments. It gets exciting, folks. It really is. Think about this, folks. A lot of the things that genuinely make us happy don't cost no money. So my recommendation for today, and maybe you can just make a commitment. If you are just starting this out, do it once on Mondays and help us boost the level of happiness on Mondays. Find somebody today that did something that really impresses you and compliment them. Folks, imagine if more people do that, we can definitely make this world a happier place. Yes, become that person that recognize what's good in others. Instead of that person that always put people down, be the person that always lifts people up. And it works for children too. It works for adults. And it works for older people. It works for every single human being. And yes, you are going to feel good about yourself because you make others feel good. That's so simple, folks. So that's my talk for today. That's compliment and happiness, and I hope that it makes sense to you, and I hope you help us to spread the word. Give compliments, and yes, it will come back like the perfume. So if you're just joining us on the Happy Monday, folks, we do this every Monday. Go to youtube.com/AskTheCHO. That's AskTheCHO, and subscribe to our channel. Help us to spread the word. Post it on your Facebook and social media and stuff like that, folks. If you think that the rest of the world need to hear something like this. If you don't think so, I totally get it. So it's totally voluntarily if you want to share. So that's what I got this morning, folks. Compliment and happiness. Now, if you want to share on our website, please do so, or our social media, share it, and let everybody understand the impact these little things can do on the rest of the universe. So happiness today, folks, is compliment and happiness. My name is Edwin Edebiri. I am the Chief Happiness Officer with the I Am Happy Project and Happy Neighborhood Project. So we always end this call by wishing each other happiness. Why? Very simple. Whatever you focus on grows. So if you focus on happiness, guess what? Happiness is only going to grow in your life. So let's together wish each other a happy Monday. And I'm going to count to 2 for that. 1, 2.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
You guys stay happy.
Great message.